Good morning and welcome to the morning show. I am Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
the fabulous Arizona Center.
Ooh, you went down today.
It's like, I'm a little I did a lot of talking this weekend, so
Yeah.
I sound like Brenda Vaccaro. So, for Thunderbird wine, but...
That's right. I always like this voice on you, though.
Oh, I know. No, I actually like it. I'm like, okay. But it's just kind of like interesting because now I'm suddenly dropping down in like baritone or...
Oh, that's right. We talked about this last time because we talked about Phoebe, how she likes her voice better when she gets sick on Friends. So then she kept trying to come cough on me. Come cough on me.
so it's because then it's easier to get it to go lower.
Yeah.
But then it's all kind of scratchy and I sound like Selma.
Nah, I like it. I like it. Nice and gruff. Yeah.
So indeed. Well, word of the day. All right, I'll let you rip away.
You ready?
Yep. Woohoo!
Yeah, that one made a good sound. I appreciate that.
Our word of the day is domiciliary, of relating to or constituting of a domicile, such as provided or taking place in the home.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so there you go.
Domicile is another word for home, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for those that don't know, domicile.
Yes, means home.
Home. So
yeah, I mean, well, it's
what
like
is it? Domiciliary?
Yeah.
Okay.
So probably not as easy to work into just every day.
I feel like there's an extra syllable in there that
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want
it's like
to be
I think I would just say domiciliary.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say too.
So
But there's an ill domiciliary.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there you go.
Marshall's made an executive decision to just not do the sentences anymore either.
Well, that one looks really bad, so I'm just avoiding it because I'm like no. So
if they're that bad, we're just gonna skip it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like going to a comedy show, and I was, over the week I was watching a comic, and he was like, that joke in my mind sounded good, but now that I'm really thinking about saying it, no.
Yeah.
And we tried. It's like, come on, tell us the joke that you think is so bad that we will not enjoy it.
And you never got it out of him?
We never did. It was kind of disappointing.
That's been pretty bad.
I know. That's
interesting. Now I'm intrigued. I don't even know the comic.
I know. It was kind of like,
it's
come on. You've teased us. Usually it's a tease and then you relinquish. But yeah, no.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
So.
Well, we want to just say real quick, right at the top of the hour while we've got you, we launched our brand new website, which we're super excited about.
Indeed we are.
It's onthemorningshow.com.
Can they see episodes of the morning show?
All the episodes.
The episodes.
Just since we've been in this studio. Yeah.
Okay.
So all the episodes from this studio are up.
But that's a lot.
It is a lot. We're almost going to hit 100 in this studio.
Wow.
Yeah. We're
zipping along, cranking them out, baby.
I know. So please go check out our new website. We're super proud of it, and it looks really cool. If I do say so myself, I like it. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this with our very first guest of the day for you.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
the fabulous Arizona Center.
And I'm all wiggly and giggly because we have a very cute... They're both cute.
And tiny.
Yeah, Nicole and Frankie are both adorable, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are from the Wiggle Zone Doggy Daycare.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, so this is Frankie. Hi, Frankie.
Good morning.
Frankie's just the cutest little sweetie thing. Okay, so sorry, I could get distracted by the dog all day. So tell us a little bit about Wiggle Zone.
Yeah, so we're a small dog daycare in Scottsdale. We're right at Scottsdale and Shea, so we're right in the center of town over there. And when I say small dog, I mean 25 pounds or less. And that's mainly because our area is kind of small, so we don't have enough room for like the big dogs to run around and get enough exercise. But for the little ones, we're trying to create a really safe environment where they can be super confident and comfortable there and not be overwhelmed by bigger dogs, especially if they're puppies or younger. So we just have them come in and have a super fun time.
Oh, I didn't even think about puppies. I was just thinking like just
Little
small
dog.
dogs.
Yep.
I didn't even think like a big dog, but when it's small.
It would be under 25 pounds.
And indeed, yeah, I didn't even think of that. But I was like, oh yeah, no, that's actually really cool.
Well, and temperamentally they can be different too.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah,
Right.
we're trying to think about that.
Yeah, I know, Frankie. What do you have thoughts on that, don't you? Well, so I think what's interesting is with some of my other dogs, I only thought of daycare like if we were traveling,
Right.
like, you know. But now with the dog that I have now, he gets so much energy that like if I'm gone for a full day, we'll take him to doggy daycare to just
Yeah.
have that interaction like for the day. Is
Yeah.
that something you all do too, or is it long-term care only? Not long-term, but you know what I mean, like overnight.
Yeah. No, we don't do overnights there yet. I just started operating it a few months ago, so we're trying to add services as we go. But just right now during the day, we have a flexible hourly packaging scenario. So like if you need to go get your hair done and you need to take the dog for a couple hours, or grocery store, those kind of things. We also have a lot of people that work from home and they just need a couple of clear hours where they might be on meetings or whatever and they need the dog to not be barking in the background.
Yes.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that never happens to you, Melissa. Never.
You know what? I'll tell you what though. Zoom has done a really good job of being able to edit like
Filter it
the
out.
noise out, but
Yep.
it still affects you. Like,
Yep.
because I have a big 100-pound dog, so he's loud when he does it, and so even though the Zoom folks can't hear it, I'm still like, oh my God,
Right.
shut up.
Right, it makes you a little bit distracted and stressed. I totally get it.
Yeah. So tell me, like, how did this come to be? Like, did you always just know this was a service you wanted to offer to the community?
Oh my gosh, so thank you for asking that. I have 4 dogs of my own, 4 littles, and so they had either gone to daycare themselves or whatever. I was in a medical sales job last year and literally saw this lady post on Nextdoor that she was selling her dog daycare. So I just went by there and it was right pretty close to my house and it just came together. So I bought it last fall and now it has become our full-time project. But it's amazing because I can take my 4 dogs there and instantly we have a little group, and then we have met so many fun clients and dogs since then
Yeah.
that are part of our family now, so it's really good. Love
How
it.
cool.
Yeah.
What a fun story too. Like
Yeah.
you just like
It just worked out.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It really did.
So I was reading a little bit about you, and it looked like you had some cool things that you kind of offer too, like some sound bath experiences and yoga, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so, you know, with the small dogs, we're also just trying to build community with their owners, and we're offering events mostly on the weekends right now, but like a dog yoga class where you can come with your own dog. Like I know some places are offering puppy yoga, and it's super fun, but this is really just to bond with your own pup, to do something that you can do for self-care for yourself and not leave the dog at home or leave them behind. So you don't have to make a choice of how you spend that part of your day or weekend. So sound bath, dog yoga, educational things like dog massage has been another one where you just come and the dogs just enjoy being touched and teaching you how to interact with them. Trying to think what else. Like I said, we have an education class for CPR and first aid just as a safety, you know, so just things that owners might benefit from, but we have them just come to the daycare, so we're a resource for them.
That's really cool, because I'll say this too, again, with this most recent dog that I have, he really loves getting massaged.
Yeah, exactly.
And I never thought about massaging a dog before, but you know, he's that breed where he's like a herding dog, he's very active.
Yeah.
And so like when I massage his hips, like he's just like, oh yeah.
Oh, they love it. They really, I mean, just think about for ourselves too, you know,
Yeah.
you get a stiff neck or just from being in a funny position, so they appreciate that. Dogs are always in this position with their heads extended and their necks up because they're looking at us, you know, so
yeah.
they just need those muscles to relax. So there's lots of benefit for them, but that's just one of the things that we share with our owners. It's super fun.
I love that you offer those kinds of programs too, because I think Arizona is starting to become a little more dog friendly, but
Yeah.
I've definitely been at cities where it's just a very dog friendly
Yeah.
place, you know,
Yep.
and I think it's cool that you're offering opportunities
you.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're enjoying it.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're getting ready to expand our hours also. As it's getting hotter, it's something for people to think about what they're doing with their dogs during the
Yeah.
day because it's too hot to take them to the dog park.
Yeah.
These little ones can't even walk out on the pavement or on the
No.
sidewalk because their little feet will be at risk. So we're just another option for people to do something with their pups so they still get socialized, get some playtime, burn off that extra energy. Frankie's thinking about right now if she wants to jump down
I
and
know,
go
I
run
could
around.
tell. I was like, the
Well, and
wheels
I
are
think that's
spinning.
I think that's perfect intro for some B-roll that we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Take a
let's
little look at-
show
Oh, how
folks.
yeah.
Aw.
This is just what our area looks like. That's Swig. He's one of our little
Swig,
regulars.
that's a
Yep,
cute
he's a
name.
cutie.
Oh, how cute is that? A little
Yep.
bed.
That's Max. He's running around.
Max.
But we have this nice indoor play area there that's safe, and then they can run outside too
Yeah.
if they need some fresh air or want to run around. But that's a
Oh,
completely
okay.
enclosed patio, and it's got a cover over it. So
Oh, nice.
That's
as we
really
get into
cool.
our hotter temperatures, they're still protected out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Wrigley.
Cute.
We have a
Very
bunch of regulars running around there.
That does look super clean too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we really strive for because 2 of my dogs are white, and I don't want them to come there and leave dirty, if that makes sense. You know, from
Nope, I get it.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So we really try to just keep it super clean. And when we do our events in there, we want the humans to feel comfortable doing
Right.
dog yoga in the daycare. So we want it to be super clean for everybody.
So are you gonna do the like post pictures of the doggies throughout the day so the owners get to see them?
We do. So we send,
love it when they do
for each
Yeah.
one, we usually communicate with them through the day and just send them either little video clips or
that's
pictures
awesome.
all day long. And we just put up a video frame so that it's just rotating pictures of them all
Yeah.
the time because we have so many. We just did a dog party on Friday where they did a lick art project.
Like art
We put the canvas with paint on it in a bag and then put something for them to lick on top, whipped cream or
Okay.
peanut butter. And then as they're licking, it mashes the paint around and that makes their little art project. So we had about 8 or 9 dogs all just sitting there licking these mats. It was good. And they didn't fight over it or anything. They loved it.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad you said more because I looked over at Marshall's face and he was like, "What?"
I was like, lick art? What,
I know.
what the heck is lick art?
It sounds crazy, but they had so much fun and we managed to get party hats on all of them. And it was
No
just really
way.
fun. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
so hard getting hats on dogs.
Oh my
I
God,
feel
we
like.
were shocked that we got it on most of them.
That's so funny. Okay, now I have to ask. Last question.
Yeah.
Is Frankie named after Grace and Frankie?
That's a good one. Not intentionally, but that's a perfect example. I don't know why, it just seemed like the right name for her.
It is really cute.
But yeah.
Frankie's
I
super
wasn't sure what it
adorable.
was short for. So
What?
usually it was like Francesca or something.
Francesca,
That's
Francis.
good. No, we're not that sophisticated. It just became
Okay.
it just became Frankie, and her brother is Max. So
Cute. Well, let our viewers know where they can find you, book your services, find out about the events, all the good stuff.
yeah, thank you. Everything is at wigglezonedoggy.daycare.com for our website, and on Instagram it's Wiggle Zone Dog Daycare. We have a calendar of events on there. We're always trying to partner and collaborate with other women dog businesses, so
Cool.
our calendar includes all that stuff. But we'd love to have anyone come out and take a tour and meet us.
Oh, I love the invitation for collaboration. That's
Yeah.
so cool. And yeah, if you've got a little one, this looks like a beautiful place, a trusted place that you can leave your little treasure for a couple hours if you
Yeah,
need to.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing about the daycare and
Thank
for bringing
you.
Frankie along. We always love having pups in the studio.
Yeah, our pleasure. So nice
Yeah.
to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. We've got another guest for you and all of our stuff to talk about.
Indeed. And welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
The fabulous Arizona Center.
And we have another guest with us today, Marshall. Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so we've got Jill McMahon here. She is the author of Bulletproof, Healing from Gun Violence and Trauma.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
heavy topic.
Heavy topics.
So tell me about how you got into this as kind of what you focus on before we dive any deeper.
Wow. So I am a grief and trauma specialist.
Okay.
And a lot of my work actually focused on loss to suicide.
Okay.
And the reality is that 51% of suicides are by firearm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a childhood gun violence survivor.
Okay.
So the gun violence victim world has been a passion of mine since I was a child.
Okay.
And, you know, I just kind of put the two worlds together because really they are interconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's my brain is going in two different directions right now
Yes.
because I lost a very dear friend, Wendy West, to suicide by gun violence, and And then my husband was a photojournalist for 20 plus years with USA Today, and got really, really moved by this topic when he covered the Las Vegas shooting at the music festival.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he was really drawn to was this thing that you talk about, which is the after. You know, what life look like if you are a survivor, and what life looks like for the families, the people that were impacted by gun violence. Because once the newspaper story came out about the actual shooting, usually the coverage stopped, but there was so much more, you know, to it. So I'm wondering if you can share a little bit about that.
Well, thank you for that example, because it was a shining example for anybody who's tuning in about how many of us are impacted by this. You know, you have been impacted in some way, your husband has been impacted in some way, and what we see typically happens is that after a gun violence event kind of fades away, we don't hear anything else about the survivors. Usually what will occur, at least last week we had 2 gun violence events in the United States. We talk about it for a couple days, it turns political almost immediately, and then we forget about the victims altogether. And so I realized that that was a theme. And I had clients for years and years and years that were not getting better, were not getting over it, and felt invisible, felt erased. And I think that we have a population, you guys, that isn't going to go away anytime soon. And so I felt very passionate about writing a book that hasn't been written before, right? How do we heal the gun violence survivor? And Melissa, to your point, who is the gun violence survivor? I mean, technically, it's your husband. In some, it's you in some ways. It's anybody who's been impacted by a gun violence event, and that population just isn't validated.
Well, I think it not only is it not validated, but it's just not really talked about. I mean, one of the things. So I also used to work at USA Today, and I covered the mass shooting that happened in a Walmart in Texas. In El Paso, and we looked at a lot of data. We looked at you know, the scheme of where he entered and all the Walmart, and it was really weird because I hadn't had this happen to me before, but I couldn't go into a store for a while. There was just something in me that I couldn't do it for 2 or 3 months. And I think it was because I was just consuming all of this information about the shooting really steadily, and I didn't have anybody to talk to about that. You know, nobody else really understood what that thing was going on with me. And so that's a very minor incident, but kind of what I want to talk about is, you mentioned that there's very specific trauma that happens with associated to gun violence. Can you share kind of what that looks like?
First and foremost, I want you to know that that experience actually is trauma.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to open this up, right? There are so many of us that are just floating around day to day, and we don't understand why we can't go to the bank right now. Why, you know, our heart is constricting and we're having difficulty breathing and we're sweating just, you know, pulling up outside of a Walmart or your nearest bank. That just goes to show the ripple effects of how this trauma impacts the brain, right? So to your point, that may not be trauma that needed psychological care, but it was still trauma nonetheless. And there are millions and millions of Americans in particular that have those experiences, and some of them can't bounce right out of it a few months later, right? So what we see often as long-lasting trauma from gun violence or suicide is the inability to feel safe. I had mentioned earlier feeling invisible. So if you feel invisible because nobody's talking about it and nobody else can relate to your experience, what you do then is you retreat. Or you put on the mask very, very quickly, because society wants us to put on the mask. They want us to be okay. Our next door neighbor doesn't want to feel uncomfortable when they're just shooting the breeze with us outside in the front yard, right? So we learn really quickly that other people aren't comfortable with our discomfort. So what we do is we push it down and we push it down and we push it down. That can turn into some really, really deep and long-lasting psychological effects, right? PTSD would not be uncommon after experiencing any type of gun violence, after losing somebody that you love to suicide. However, I think it's important to know that you don't have to witness any of these events to be impacted.
Yeah.
And I love, again, Melissa, that your examples were actually, little did you know, you and I have not had a conversation before this, but that was so spot on.
Yeah.
You can just be a witness to a gun violence event and or be caring for somebody who was a witness to or a victim of a gun violence event and feel like your safety and your security has been stripped away from you.
Yeah.
Right? And not knowing how to help them. Yeah. There's, the list goes on and on.
I bet. So I'm curious, is the book more like a guide? Is it general awareness? What can people expect from your book, Bulletproof?
So I wrote it to be three-pronged. I did see that there was a big hole and there was a big need. I wanted to first acknowledge and validate the survivor of any one of these events, right? I wanted to educate the population on how prevalent this problem is. 54% of Americans have been impacted by gun violence in some way. That's comes directly from a 2023 poll, right? So recent. So I wanted to validate the victim. I also wanted to provide a guidebook for the caregivers, whom I also work with, who call me and are like, Jill, I'm scared. I don't know how to help. I'm afraid that I'm losing them. Yeah. And the last part of each chapter is written for clinicians.
Okay.
Because I really think with this population that's growing, we need to start training our young clinicians to work specifically with this population in a unique manner and not to be treating it like any other grief or any other loss.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. We were just talking about, basically Roosevelt and Central.
Yeah.
There's a statue, Release the Fear. That is a statue of a person throwing their arms up that's made out of weapons that from folks who were involved with. So, and you said you had some connection to that. So, can you talk a little bit?
I did. So, back when that was erected, and I want to say it was probably at least 15 years, years ago, maybe right around 15 years ago. Yeah, I was a part of a local community here of gun violence prevention advocates. And what that statue represents is actually reclaimed firearms from crimes in Phoenix or Maricopa County that the police department then handed over to this artist who sculpted this beautiful figure in the middle of Phoenix, that represents so much pain and represents so much anguish, and families that are, now possibly visiting a loved one in prison, or families that have lost a loved one, and they melted it all together and created this incredible sculpture. I don't even think a lot of people realize it's there.
No, they don't, and so that's why I wanted to bring it up, is since it was so closely tied to what we're talking about. I was like, and bringing it in, it's like just steps away from where we are right now.
And they just drive right past it and don't.
So, and I always pointed out, because Robert Miley was such a passionate person about so many things here in the Valley. And so that was just one of the things, and that was really his focus. Was art used, especially with youth who'd been impacted by gun violence.
Yeah, I didn't know that was there, and that's so powerful, the kind of story behind it and how that all came to be. So,
what a beautiful way to use your skill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm curious, are you accepting new clients, or are your books closed?
My books are closed.
Okay.
My books closed so that I could create the book.
Gotcha.
I had worked with specifically with survivors of suicide for 20 years.
Okay.
And as much as I am passionate and I love that work very, very much, it began to kind of seep into my pores a little bit. And I always knew my heart is with those two worlds, suicide and gun violence.
Yeah.
And I always knew that I wanted my legacy to leave something for other people to learn.
Right.
And so this is I'm now speaking, and I'm training, and I'm trying to get the book into as many university settings as possible.
Right.
Making sure that survivors know that there is a guidebook out there for them, because again there hasn't been anything like this up until now. And so I'm giving in other ways. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
How can people find the book?
So the book is on Amazon.
Okay.
And I have a website, JillMcMahonCounseling.com. They can find more information about the book there. I'm pretty easy to get in touch with.
Well, that's good.
Great.
Being accessible is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jill, for
Oh,
joining
you guys.
us. Yeah.
Thank you for taking on the topic. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
We went from
absolutely.
puppies to gun violence. We covered it all
You know?
today.
Yeah,
I
we
love
really
it.
did.
The full gamut. It's beautiful. That's life.
Yeah, it's an important topic, and
It is.
I'm glad that we're able to have a platform here that we can talk about it. So
I
thank you.
appreciate you and your insight. It was
Thanks
beautiful.
so much. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this with a little bit of history, a little bit of things to do. Who knows what else? We might surprise you.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
The fabulous Arizona Center. And what a day we've had already.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I really wanted to steal Frankie.
I could tell.
My purse was large enough to be able to pull that off. I think.
Actually, it is.
You know, she was so cute.
And probably Frankie's brother as well.
The little pom-poms.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it had me also wondering, it's like, does Frankie have blue
Oh,
pom-poms?
I don't know.
No,
Oh, you mean a brother Max?
Max, yes. Yes, Max.
That would be funny, actually. Yeah, Pat cannot, well, won't let me get a little puppy like that, so I'm kind of sad about that.
Well, if your mom gets one, then you vicariously get to.
I know.
So,
That would be so fun.
so does she have a birthday coming up?
In November.
Oh, no, it needs to be sooner than that.
I don't think she could handle 2 dogs, though. I think it's like we gotta future plan. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Although maybe they would entertain each other as well.
That's true, yeah. Although Lucy's pretty grumpy. She is the grumpiest Chiweenie you will ever meet. She does not like anyone except for like a handful of people. She's very particular.
Okay.
She's a very spoiled puppy, yeah.
Understandable.
So she might be meant to be an only dog.
You know, and there are
Or am I talking about myself? I don't know.
Right. Who knows? Being an only child, it's like,
knows? I know, I was reading this. It's actually a really good book. I'm reading it very slow because I'm interested in it, but it's all about flow, like the mind state when you get into flow. And there's this whole chapter about how the normal brain is most unhappy when they're alone. And like, it's this whole chapter about loneliness and not being with people and all this stuff. And I was like, I am so abnormal. Like, I am so happy when I'm alone. So I don't know, it's just interesting.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people it's kind of like that alone time.
Yeah. I mean, I can't function without it. Like,
Right.
this has actually been a hard 2 weeks for me because I haven't had a day that's like a no people, no downtime
okay.
day. And I can feel it. Like, I feel it. So, yeah, I've been pretty good about trying to protect Sundays for that reason. But, you know, life happens and sometimes there goes your Sunday. So,
Completely understand.
yeah, I know.
So let's talk some history.
Let's do it.
All right, so we have the 5 C's.
We do.
And what are the 5 C's?
I always forget one. Copper, climate, citrus, cotton,
And cattle.
cattle.
And cattle.
Yeah.
And so those were those economic engines that kind of drove the early Arizona. And so if you've ever been to Bisbee, you can take a lovely...
We sure have.
I mean, you can do this amazing tour into the Queen Mine and everything else. And so on May 1st, 1917 was the start of a strike where those miners said, you know, we want safer conditions, lots of other things as well. And it ended up in the deportation where they sent them all to New Mexico. And Bisbee 17 is a local movie where they actually did a reenactment of that.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I was like, and I thought it was a kind of interesting tie-in to history, also local filmmaking as well.
Yeah.
And just this piece of history that a lot of people aren't aware of. If you go to the Bisbee History Museum, they have a huge piece on the deportation because it was just huge there.
Well, interesting timing and tie-in too, not so much with the deportation angle yet that we know of, but there's been recent policy that they're trying to roll back a lot of those protections that were put in place for minors that are, working right now. And so I'm curious to see, if something similar will happen again, which is not what we want,
No,
but
not at
but
all.
just goes to show you, we have historical examples like this to learn from, and it's good to
it's good to look back at that history.
Yeah.
And that's why and the movie was so well done.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, I don't know, I didn't think to see where can you see it,
Yeah.
because I had been excited about seeing it, and so went to go see it in a theater, and I know it had a run, I think, on like Netflix.
Well, we can probably look it up during a break
true.
or something.
We probably
and let you
can
know.
do that as well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some things we could celebrate.
Oh, good. We've been a little heavy with gun violence and
So
and minor striking.
Jack and Jill
Went up the hill.
to fetch a pail of water.
Jack fell
And
down,
down and broke his crown.
and Jill came tumbling after. Yes.
So that is Mother Goose.
Okay.
And so today is Mother Goose Day. It honors that timeless tradition of nursery rhymes, children's stories that have been passed down from generation to generation. I mean, Humpty Dumpty, Little Miss Muffet. Basically, it is a day to just kind of celebrate that old-fashioned kind of whimsy.
I never realized how much Mother Goose looks like a witch, which I totally appreciate nowadays. But
So and that's why I went with an old image of Mother Goose, because some of them it was more cartoonish.
like grandma, sweet grandma.
Yeah. But I love the fact that it's like a grandma, but not necessarily. It's like, Hansel and Gretel. It's like somebody would be like, "Well, hey, I got a candy house. Come and enjoy my candy house." So, all right.
That was particularly effective with your gruff voice today, by the way. Yeah.
And your little dog too. So, it is also Batman Day.
Batman Day.
Yeah. So on
Another reason to wear a cape.
if like you needed a reason,
I keep finding
you keep
reasons.
saying I need to wear a cape, and so basically this is because back in 1939, this cartoon, you can see this comic book is dated May 1939. It was the first appearance of that Cape Crusader Batman,
Very cool.
which I thought was a lot of fun. So, go celebrate. Maybe you want to wear a cape.
I do.
I know you do, but maybe somebody out there wants to wear a cape as well.
Go for it.
And do it before it gets too hot, because
You can always just fashion up a bed sheet too. I'm just saying. You can do a makeshift Batman cape. Pillowcase if you're small. There's no reason.
and just go out on the town.
That's right.
Is so flaunting your brand new cape. Well, and if you wanted to do that as a couple wearing capes, you could, because it is Couple Appreciation Day.
Oh.
So it's May 1st is a day to honor and celebrate that bond between partners. Now, unlike Valentine's Day, which can sometimes feel a little commercial, this is just all about that quiet gratitude, taking time to recognize the small everyday acts of love and support that build a strong relationship. I was looking at this day and I'm like, oh, this is a Courtney Day. It's
yeah.
So
Totally. Also, I think your timing is funny because I don't know if you have days like this in your house, but Pat and I will we don't know why, but there's just days where everything we say to each other is what? And so yesterday we were okay, we're just going to avoid each other. You be on that side of the house, I'll stay over here. It always ends up fine, but.
Right. But it's just kind of sometimes you just kind of, it's okay.
Need a little space, friend.
Need a little space, and
Need a
that's
little
not a bad
space.
thing.
Yeah.
So, but today, if you wanted to celebrate, maybe you want to do a little surprise date, a small getaway, cook a meal together.
That's always nice, cooking together. I enjoy that.
Yeah. or just simply spend some quality time device-free.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What a novel idea.
I know. It's like put those on the charger and just walk away.
Actually, I keep seeing videos. I assume they started on TikTok, but it's all these, it's usually from men, but they're like, as soon as my wife puts down the phone, that's my cue to also be done scrolling. Like, that seems like the new thing.
Oh, actually reacting to your environment.
Yeah.
What a novel idea.
Right? I know.
Well, and and I think a perfect thing is also today, you could go to a museum because it's World Museum Day.
Oh, fun. I love that.
And if you were wondering where could we go in Arizona, why, you could go to the world's smallest museum in Superior. Maybe you want to go to the Mini Time Machine Museum of Miniatures in Tucson.
Which I actually like. I really
Oh
like that
my
one.
gosh.
That one's
Every
fun.
time I go, I'm always amazed. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like at first you're thinking, well, how hokey is this going to be? And then it's really
No, it's
cool.
fantastic.
It's
yeah.
really cool.
It's really fun.
As well, if you want to celebrate the 5 C's, there is the Copper Museum up in Clarkdale, which again sounds really hokey, but you get there and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like copper through the ages and all these different things.
Yep.
All about copper. And then one of my favorite museums also is the Museum of Northern Arizona, which I don't think gets enough love. Because you all know those major museums around town.
I do think I did that years ago. And
And it was so worth it.
You know what? There's so many amazing museums right here in the city too. We've got the Phoenix Art Museum. We've got the Herd Museum.
Right.
We've got Hall of Flame.
I mean, there's
we've got the
Smolka, right?
mining.
I mean, there's so many great museums. That's why I want to give some of those smaller museums a little bit of love.
Yeah, but just go. I mean, a lot of people I don't think consider that as an activity for the day,
Right.
but
Or you got the Arizona Historical Society. They've got the museum out in Papago Park.
That's true.
Or the one in Tucson.
you could go to the Museum of Poop, the prehistoric poop, the Poo Museum.
Or the Idea Museum. I mean, there's lots of places you could go.
Or what is the Children's Museum? So it's a great one if you've got kiddos.
Oh, completely. You go as a whole family.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then to end our celebrations, National Chocolate Parfait Day.
Ooh.
Where, say you wanted to create a little activity where maybe you all get together, you take some chocolate pudding, you layer that with some whipped cream, put some chocolate cookie crumbles, and just keep layering, then you have a delicious treat.
And yet again, you've disappointed me by talking about it, but not actually providing a chocolate parfait.
Oh, we'll have some after the break.
Lies! Okay.
So
Don't make me not trust you ever again, Marshall. Don't do that. Our relationship is fragile.
Yes, but we have no chocolate parfaits today.
We do not.
Maybe tomorrow.
There he
I'll
goes with
gladly
the lying
pay you
again.
for this hamburger today.
Whatever.
So, all right. So besides our lack of parfait, what are some things we could do around town today?
Parfait laughing. So we just talked about the Children's Museum. If you've got a family that you want to have some fun with, or if you're just a kid at heart like me who likes
Or
to
you
do
could do an
silly
adult
things.
night at the Children's Museum.
This is not that. This is
Well, they do have those as well. So
No,
even
I
if
know.
right, but even
which
if-
are actually really fun when you let
Oh, they're
a group
hoot.
of adults loose on the noodle forest. Crazy, fabulous things happen.
Yeah.
But no, this is Disney on Ice. Disney on Ice is in town. That's right. At Desert Diamond Arena. That's in Glendale. It's starting tonight at 7 p.m. And this is for you to discover why no dream is too small or too big. They're going to dive into some of your classic tales like Belle exploring the Enchanted Castle, Moana heading out to sea, and all sorts of fun things like Miguel from Coco as he follows the music of his heart. So this is $25. That's actually pretty reasonable.
That is.
That's starting, and you can always, upgrade your seats if you want an up close and personal experience in the first row. But always a fun time. I usually go, honestly, with a group of girlfriends that are also Disney nerds, and we have a pretty good time. We've also got another one for the kiddos. Peter Rabbit is happening at the Great Arizona Puppet Theater in Phoenix. This is a morning show that starts at 10 a.m. So naughty Peter disobeys his mother and sets off to find adventure and even a little lunch. But Mr. McGregor's garden is not so happy about that idea, but anyway, it's $15 for adults, $10 for children. It's only a 45-minute play, so pretty good and sweet and short to kind of keep those kids' attention. We've also got Uno de Mayo celebration at Pacino's restaurant in Mesa starting at 8 p.m. Come for the tacos, stay for the tunes. Get ready to sing your heart out and celebrate in style at Uno de Mayo. It is a themed karaoke night where you are the star. Here's an opportunity for us to do karaoke together, Marshall.
I'm assuming if it's curious, it's going to be things like tequila.
Oh, I feel like I could do that one.
See,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay. There will be prizes for best song performance and best dressed. We see performance and best dressed. It's not best vocalist. We could totally rock that.
Oh, see, there you go, because I'm not going to win best vocalist.
Neither of us are going to win best
Most
vocalist.
heinous vocalist, likely. But
So come in your most festive, fun, and fabulous attire and bring those pipes because this is your moment. Yep. So you can come solo and meet new friends or bring all your friends. It's just going to be one big fiesta. There's no cover. So 8 p.m. you can join on in at Pacino's
But
restaurant.
I'm assuming folks should take some cash with them, because if they do want to maybe sing tequila and drink tequila.
If you want to work off your tequila, I'm sure you could try a barter system. I don't know how well that'll go for you.
Probably not very well.
No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, I'd bring some money. But just saying there's no cover to participate in the karaoke.
Right.
So we've also got Mesa Machine Knitting Club at the Mesa Police Superstition Substation at 9 a.m. That was a lot of subs and stations and things to say in one sentence. So this month's project is all about knitting light. They're going to be using the free Lakeside Beach Wrap pattern by Knit-Attitude as an inspiration, and it's a stylish open kit layering piece that is perfect for spring and summer and a great opportunity to play with airy yarns and light textures. So you can be new to machine knitting garments or just looking for a place of community to come together and do it as a group. It is a totally free event and RSVP is required. They start setting up around 8:30 and then get going around 9 a.m. So another morning event for you.
I didn't know those machines were so popular.
I didn't either.
And so now there's like meetups all around. You can use the little shuttle and just make, and you can get patterns and all kinds of, who knew?
Are you going? Is that what you're doing after the show?
I'm not going because I don't have a knitting machine.
Okay, well. You could do this, though, because you don't need a machine. You just need yourself and your two left feet, Marshall.
Ooh, well, I have that.
I know you do. Hip-hop dance class at Dance Wise Dance Studio in Phoenix at 6:30.
Torture, I tell you, torture.
This is taught by Javi Star, a.k.a. Wheezy. He's the choreographer for the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury Dance Squad. So you know this class is going to be on fire. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, my gosh. With Wheezy going at it, he's going to,
So no experience is necessary. Everybody, including you, Marshall, and your two left feet, are welcome and encouraged to attend. Just make sure you've got some comfortable clothes and shoes on and be ready to get down with your bad self. It's only $15 to do the class.
Wow.
So 6:30 to 7:30, hour-long class with Wheezy for $15. That's a pretty good deal, I feel like.
That is.
So there you go.
Wow.
I don't even need a parfait today. There's so many other cool things going on.
But you could work it off with Wheezy.
But you didn't bring me a parfait, so I don't have to work it off. I'm not bitter at all.
No, not at all. Oh, no chocolate parfait.
Yeah. All right, well, this has been a really, really fun and important show as we talked with Jill McMahon about gun violence and trauma. We also had the Wiggle Zone
exactly, and Frankie.
Doggy Daycare and little Frankie. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you do have any events, things you want to celebrate, birthday shout-outs, anything that you want to share with us, please shoot us an email at hello@onthemorningshow.com or where on Instagram?
At On the Morning Show.
Yeah.
So there you
I
go.
think you've got it down finally.
Well, and then I was like, oh, look, now they run the lower third.
Oh, so you cheated.
Oh, no, I knew it already. But it was like, I was like, oh, whenever I say it before, it's never there. So I'm like,
Okay. Well, there you go, producers. Marshall needs a visual cue, so.
Or we just hang it from the ceiling.
Okay, you have been called a liar today by me and Brandon, the voice of God, just so you know.
Everyone's just disappointed that there is no chocolate parfaits.
I know.
I get that.
That
but
is what it's about.
We have cookies.
we will always have cookies, I feel like, for the rest of our lives. They will outlive us, those cookie trays.
I think they will.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. We will see you here back bright and early tomorrow morning.